Here are the top 10 worst moments from the 2024 Super Bowl, and some of these are shocking. First off, we have Travis Kelce screaming at his coach. Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce didn't mean anything by his shouting at head coach Andy Reid early in Sunday's Super Bowl victory over the San Francisco 49ers. It was all part of the star's competitive spirit, a source tells Page 6. Kelce was clearly irritated and frustrated after the Chiefs lost a fumble in the second quarter of their thrilling comeback over San Francisco. The 34-year-old star and boyfriend to Taylor Swift was seen on video yelling in Reid's face and even bumping the coach as he wanted back into the game following the turnover. Teammate Jerick McKinnon even had to hold Travis back. Viewers were quickly to pounce on Kelce's actions, but a source brushed aside any real animosity between the player and the coach. He's just a passionate player and everybody is on edge. It's the Super Bowl, but there was no malintent. Now let's talk about Nickelodeon covering the Super Bowl. Nickelodeon added its own spin on the sports event by showing celebrities as cartoon sea creatures. The Nickelodeon announcer introduced the celebs including LeBron James and Finn Diesel, Billie Eilish, and Herring Styles. In addition to the strange cartoon celebs, Sandy Cheeks from SpongeBob was the main commentator. Of course, why not? And they referred to Travis Kelce as Taylor Swift's boyfriend the entire night. Next up, we have the horrible Oreo commercial starring Kris Jenner. In her first Super Bowl commercial, the momager pays homage to some of the Kardashian-Jenner family's most iconic moments. The commercial is meant to be a flashback to 2007 and pay homage to the moments and cookies that have played a part in the family's fame over the last 17 years. How did we get here? Well, to answer that, I'd have to go back to the beginning, Jenner says while holding up an Oreo cookie. Jenner twists the top cookie from the rest of the Oreo and looks inside as if reading a fortune. With a giggle, she adds, "I better warn the kids." Although the commercial was received well by some, the majority of Reddit was not having it. One user writing, "I can't go anywhere online without seeing a Kardashian. And now Oreo? Come on." Another user writing, "Why are companies still endorsing Kris Jenner? Doesn't she have enough money?" Next, let's talk about the Jenna Ortega Doritos commercial. Haven't we as a culture moved past the older people look like they're doing crazy things cause stunt doubles trend? Well, that's kind of the only premise of the entire commercial. And come on Doritos, you got Jenna Ortega to be in this commercial just to have her wander around a grocery store looking for her grandmother's. The YouTube comments on the ad say it all. "It's like 2008 funny," one user says, another commenting, "What the F am I watching?" And they've officially ruined Doritos. Next up, we have Usher's halftime show. Viewers look forward to the halftime show each year, but this year's performance fell a bit flat. Usher's halftime performance during this year's Super Bowl between the Kansas City Chiefs and San Francisco 49ers has come under fire from thousands across the globe. As the players took a well-deserved break in the Allegiant Stadium locker rooms, Usher took to the field to belt out a long list of his best-known hits. While the thousands in attendance were on their feet, it's safe to say the performance fell a bit flat, with several watching at home. Complaints flooded in from the very beginning of the performance, with many moaning that the sound quality was quote awful, and that Alicia Keys was singing off pitch, and that there was no wow moment from any of the performers. Taking issue with the sound quality, one ex-user fumed. "Usher is horrible in live settings," he says, "could barely hear him on top of that. Worst halftime show in a long time. Worst halftime show ever. Didn't even hear Usher sing properly. Really disappointed." A second complained, with a third echoing, "This is historically bad. Congrats." Every year the halftime show is worse and worse. Hashtag Super Bowl, this didn't break the internet, a fourth commenter hit out, while a fifth user bluntly put it, "The worst Super Bowl halftime show performance ever." Even those who enjoyed Usher's performance couldn't help but criticize the audio problems that plagued it, including one person who weighed in saying, "It was a great show, but the audio was just awful. It got a little better towards the end, but you could barely hear Usher at all. Now, let's discuss the horrible outfits that some celebs were wearing. From Usher to Blake Lively and Elon Musk, many were confused and unimpressed over these A-listers' clothing choices. Ahead of the big game, rumors swirled that Justin Bieber was going to make a surprise appearance during Usher's halftime show. However, when those predictions didn't pan out to be true, it left many to wonder, where in the world was JB? Well, the star reminded us that he was indeed there, but clearly had no intentions of going on that stage based on his outfit. The Peaches hitmaker was spotted wearing a loose-fitting brown-colored button-down that was totally open with his chest exposed. He topped it off with a black baseball cap tilted backwards, which added to the vacation mode vibe of it all. There's quiet luxury and then there's carelessness, and that's exactly what Elon Musk's outfit gave. The X and Tesla CEO showed up to the event in a tight-fitting t-shirt that made him look as if he rolled out of bed and just went to the game. Even though this wasn't a red carpet event, we still expected more from one of the wealthiest celebs in the world. Next, let's discuss the atrocity that is the ticket prices for the Super Bowl. It's reported that the average price of a ticket is $10,000 US, and that box suite that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's family sat in, a reported $2 million. Earlier last week, Travis Kelce joked about how much money he was spending for the Super Bowl. I'm not really doing much different other than just counting how much money I'm spending on this damn Super Bowl for family and friends to come, he told his brother in Thursday's episode of their hit podcast New Heights. Just making sure I'm on top of those finances and losing all this money, the athlete, who is reportedly worth $30 million, quipped. The Super Bowl ads are also extremely expensive. The average cost for 30 seconds is $7 million US. For reference, in 2015, it was only $4 million. A reliable figure doesn't really exist for how much money the Super Bowl itself makes each year, though most estimates range from a minimum of $300 million to a maximum of $1.3 billion. Our last two worst moments are from other Super Bowl years, but are equally as horrific. Remember the Justin Timberlake halftime show debacle? Well, if you don't know the story, let me catch you up. Justin and Janet Jackson were performing in front of over 100 million fans watching worldwide, when at the end of the halftime show, he tore Janet Jackson's costume and bared her chest live on stage. It didn't seem like it was a mistake, and Janet was furious. But she says she later forgave him. Honestly, this whole thing was blown way out of proportion. Jackson opened up about the incident during part 2 of her Janet Jackson documentary. She continues by saying, "And of course, it should not have happened, but everyone's looking for someone to blame, and that has got to stop. Justin and I are very good friends, and we will always be very good friends." Lastly, we have the Maroon 5 Super Bowl halftime show. Beyond big-name performers like Rihanna and Cardi B, who publicly turned down the 2019 halftime slot to show solidarity with Colin Kaepernick, and 100,000 Maroon 5 fans who signed a petition urging them to drop out, the band weathered brutal headlines asking, "Can you name a member of Maroon 5 besides Adam Levine?" and "Will Maroon 5 give us the weakest ever Super Bowl halftime show?" and the Super Bowl's biggest question: why are Maroon 5 popular? The performance certainly did not do much to highlight Maroon 5's non-Adam Levine members, with the frontman's knuckle tattoos alone getting more screen time than the rest of his band. Levine, no stranger to the screen thanks to his voice, coaching gig, and his many random endorsements, did his very best to remain at the forefront of the performance at all times. The most gratuitous of his many camera mugging moments coming when he launched his shirt into the crowd to reveal his very sweaty, tattoo-covered torso during their groan-worthy set moves like Jagger. Adam Levine has had his fair share of controversies, especially in 2022, when he was publicly outed for cheating on his wife. The former voice coach made headlines in September 2022 when a woman named Summer Stroh claimed she had a year-long affair with Levine. "At the time, I was young, I was naive, I was very easily manipulated," she alleged via a TikTok TikTok video. She added in the caption that she was, quote, embarrassed that I was involved with a man with this utter lack of remorse and respect. The University of Texas alum claimed that after she and Levine ended their affair, he reached out to her to ask if it was okay if he named his future baby boy after her. One day after a TikTok about this whole situation went viral, Levine, who was expecting baby number 3 with his wife at the time, released a statement denying that he ever cheated on his wife. I used poor judgment in speaking with anyone other than my wife in any kind of flirtatious manner. I did not have an affair. Nevertheless, I crossed the line during a regrettable period of my life. In certain instances, it became inappropriate, he said in September 2022. My wife and my family is all I care about in this world. To be this naive and stupid enough to risk the only thing that truly matters to me was the greatest mistake I could ever make. I will never make it again. Amid the drama, more women came forward claiming that they had exchanged flirty messages with Levine during his marriage to Victoria's Secret model. Well guys, that's it for today's video. Subscribe for more celebrity.